Right, we are live apparently. Let's just double check. View channel. No. Switch account. Passwords. I will be right with you. To anyone who may be watching, just double checking I'm live before I start. Just double checking I'm live. Am I live? Come on. My videos. I can't see if I'm live or not. Well, I think I'm already live. No. Sorry, I'm really new to this. So, go to... Right, you are live. Right, okay. View on YouTube. Right, okay. Right. Do that. Live. Yep, there we go. Right. Yeah, right. I'm definitely live. Right. So, first and foremost, welcome to what is my new channel. I say new, like I've actually done this before, but it's going to be just a simple channel really, where I talk about football, mainly Chelsea, and just anything and everything that's been going on in the world of football in terms of the headlines, not any major transfers we get, any breaking news like the other day with Mikel Antonio, and just anything and everything like that. The main talking point of today's one will be the fact that Chelsea have, I think, we played Astana this evening or this afternoon for UK time. It was a unusually early kickoff. It was 3:30 UK time, as they're 5 hours ahead of us where the game was played, which I do believe was Kazakhstan. It was utterly ridiculously far. I think from London to their stadium was like 3,500 miles one way, which then means obviously it's the same back. So the players that went and the manager and the staff, they had a 7,000-mile round trip, which, yeah, sod that. And then not only did they have a 7,000-mile round trip, but when they get off the plane, they're welcomed by what is only described as an icy hell, in that the temperature was minus 11 Celsius. But with factoring the wind chill, it said I looked it up, it said it felt like minus 20 Celsius. And they were playing in that. And I'm pretty sure everyone except Dewsbury Hall and one of the academy lads, Tyreek George, I think it was, every single one of them were wearing like thermals underneath. You can't blame them. And obviously, they're going to be running around, but the away goalkeeper was actually wearing a beanie or a woolly hat, whichever way you want to call it. It was quite funny, but we win 3-1. Relatively, well, it was comfortable. I'm not going to say it wasn't. The second half was actually quite boring, shall we say. But we'll get to that eventually. We started in a 3-4-3 formation. We had Jorgensen in goal. Just pretty typical, really. He's our Europa Conference League goalkeeper. Yeah, quite bog standard, really. The normal team that usually play in the Conference League, none, like they weren't there. A few of them were there, but we mainly took the kids. In that, given the likes of Nkunku arrest, Mudryk arrest, they didn't even travel. But we went with a back three. We had Joshua Achiampong at right centre back. We had Tosin in the middle, and we had Disasi at left centre back. Again, it's pretty bog standard back three. I was thinking we were going to play back four because we had Vega there as well. Though maybe he'd go left back, and not maybe a Chimpong playing right back or Disasi right back, but it turned out to be a back three. bog standard. The goal that we conceded wasn't their fault, which again I'll get onto. The midfield four though wasn't like your typical like midfield four when you play a back three, because you normally play two centre mids and a wing back, not two wing backs. But this one was, we had Samuel Sakiye as like a DM. Then we had Vega and Dewsbury Hall as like eights. And then we had Chukwuemeka as a 10. So we played a 3-4-3, but the 4 was a diamond rather than a line. It was really weird. And then the front three, we had Pedro Neto on the right, Tariq George on the left, and then we had Mark Yu up front. And yeah, it was a weird one because nothing really happened in the first like 10 minutes or so. I have got my notes written down here. So in the eighth minute, was when the first real chance happened. Achimpong played a lovely through ball to Neto, and he ended up taking a shot, and goalie saved it in the bottom corner. It's a good chance, and it was just, we had so much of the ball, it was unreal. And in the 14th minute, we scored, and Pedro Neto got the ball around the halfway line on the right-hand side. He plays a lovely through ball down the right wing to Mark Yu, who had made a run across. Mark Yu gets the ball, runs, cuts inside, and he finishes it past the goalkeeper, and it's 1-0. Very simple. And at that point, you're now thinking, right, no disrespect to the team we're playing, but let's go and absolutely thump them, basically. Like, our goal difference is already brilliant as it is in this tournament because of the teams we've been playing. But yeah, you like, let's just go and rack up some goals, let the kids get like try and get their goals, their first goals, shall we say. And literally 4 minutes later, I initially thought it was another Mark Yu goal. So Pedro now gets the ball on the right-hand side, and he runs it to the byline, cuts the ball across, and like cuts it back, sort of thing. And I thought it was Mark Yu who put it in. Turns out it wasn't. Turns out that it was a own goal by Moroccan. I don't know how to say how to pronounce the guy's name, but it was one of their players who ended up getting the credit of the own goal instead of Gio getting the credit. And it made it 2-0. And again, at that point, when you got 2 goals within the space of 5 minutes, you're 2-0 up before 20 minutes. Unless your name's Tottenham, you're not bottling it. You're going to kick on and you're going to go and you're going to score more. 23rd minute, we had another chance where Pedro Neto, again, he came off a half time, which I'm assuming was just give him a run out, get the game sorted, and be done with it. And at 23 minutes, sorry, he had a left foot shot about 25-ish yards out, and it was going in the bottom corner. Goldie's had to pull out a really good save down to his left-hand side to put it around the post. And then we didn't have another chance for another 7 or 8 minutes. In the meantime, Amanovic got a yellow card for Astana for a foul on Mark Yu. Now, yeah, I know it's a fine one coming from a Chelsea fan in that on Sunday when we played Spurs, what's he say? Caicedo really should have been sent off for the foul on who was it? I think Sarr or Bissouma. I can't remember who the tackle was on Sunday, but Caicedo really should have been sent off for that. But this one was he caught Mark Yu knee high, stud showing, and scraped down his leg. If Mark Yu's leg was planted, it's a leg breaker. And I do think if VAR was there, it would have been a red card, ultimately. But it wasn't. Mark Yu was fine, luckily. And we just move on because literally 3 minutes later, he skies a chance. He was on the corner of the 6-yard box, and he sends it into Rosette, like he was playing rugby. It would have been, well, Johnny Wilkinson would have been proud of that kick. Like, it was ridiculous how high and wide he put it how high he put it. Sorry, from less than 6 yards out. But it is what it is. We're playing Astana, and no disrespect, but they weren't really threatening us. And they got up the other end. It got a bit frantic for a couple of minutes, actually, because they got up the other end and their number 9 didn't get a chance to catch his name. Fires a shot 25 yards out, high and wide. And then literally goes straight up the other end. And Yu has a chance from the edge of the box, but the goalie saves it very comfortably. And when we start getting end-to-end football, it's worrying, but it's also exciting because through watching us this season, you're worried that anytime you go one end, like anytime we're defending a counter attack, it's like, oh God, our defense is going to mess up. Oh my God, they've been shocking all season, but then they managed to deal with it, and then with how good our attack's been, going up the other end, and you're like, oh my God, we're going to score, and that constant flip-flop emotion of we're going to concede, we're going to score, we're going to concede, we're going to score, is one of those where you just want the game comfortable, really. And we calmed it down, and they had another chance about 36 minutes in. Again, easy save for Jorgensen. And then literally, we go up the other end. Chukwuemeka has a chance. Saved for a corner. And straight from that corner, Dewsbury Hall crosses it in, and Renato Vega makes it 3-0. Puts it in the bottom corner. game's done at this point. The game's finished. 3-0, 38 minutes played, and it's just a matter of seeing it out, really. And then we get to about 41, 42 minutes played, roughly. And they're passing it around for fun. They're just pass. And in the end, after about 2 minutes of just passing it about, their number 10, again, I didn't catch the name, gets the ball in the right wing position around about as far out as the edge of the 18-yard box, but on the right wing. Gets the ball around there, and he cuts into the box, like beats our left centre back, whichever one you want to call it. Cuts into the box, and from the edge of the box, just bends it in the top corner. Absolutely top bins. No arguing about the goal. Absolutely no chance goalie saving it. Nothing the defenders could have done. It was genuinely just a brilliant goal. The scoring ended there, and it was the best goal of the night. And if you haven't seen it, I genuinely recommend going to rewatch it back, because it was unbelievable. Like, just how ping straight in the top corner. It was similar to Cole Palmer's goal against Villa, I think it was. The 3-0 against Villa. Anyway, we're going to half time, 3-1 up. At half time, we make one sub. Atto Ampa comes on for Pedro Neto. And literally the entire second half was pretty much uneventful, really. I literally wrote down at 65 minutes, 3-1 uneventful second half so far. 2 minutes later, Chukwuemeka came off and Harvey Vale came on. Not for his debut. He made a few appearances under Thomas Tuchel a couple of years ago. He's been on loan since then. But it was nice to see him back in the Chelsea shirt. And straight after that, Tariq George on the left wing passes it to Harvey Vale, who makes a goalie give away a corner with his first touch. So not bad, not an introduction of like, oh my god, he's putting not in the net, but he didn't play bad. No one played bad, really. Again, the game slowed down, 77 minutes. Tariq George had a decent chance on the edge of the box, but it was easily saved. And then we made the final two substitutions. We only made 4 out of 5. 78th minute, Mark Yu came off, and Mahuka came on. Shamira Mahuka. I don't know if I've pronounced his name right. I've probably absolutely butchered it. But he came on, and then 85th minute, Samuel Aksaki came off, and Keanu Dyer came on. And that was it. We see out the game. 2 minutes added on at the end. Nothing really worth noting. And that was the game done. It was. This is going to sound terrible, but with the second half, It was that boring, I genuinely nearly fell asleep. And I'd never fall asleep during Chelsea games, ever. But it was that boring, I nearly fell asleep. It was unbelievably boring. But, like I've said, we got the job done. We've played 5 in the Conference League now. We've won 5. We're top of the group. Obviously 15 points. We've got 7 plus 17 goal difference. And our nearest competitors are Fiorentina, Legia Warsaw, and Lugano on 12 points in Conference League group stage. I will double check now just to make sure none of the other scores have updated. Well, Fiorentina, it won't update because Fiorentina beat Lask 7-0 tonight. We've had an 8-0. Legia Warsaw lost to Lugano 2-1. So we've got a few other teams on 11 points, and the team we've got next in our final group game, which is Shamrock Rovers. They're currently 1-0 up against Borac Banja Luka. And this is the one thing that I'm going to get to, which is this is going to sound incredibly big-headed. And obviously we deserve to be in the competition because of the fact that we qualified for it, and we haven't been good enough to qualify for the other European competitions. But just listening to some of these names of some of these teams, like, I've heard of a few of them, but like Astana, I'd never heard of them before we played them. A few weeks ago, we played a team called Noah. Like, and I'm just looking now. St. Gallen, Paphos, Selje, Malada Boleslav, Jagiellonia Bialystok. Like, these teams are from they're from the most obscure European leagues, and obviously, like, fair play to them. They've qualified for this tournament, and obviously, I don't wish them any ill fate or anything. But we really should not be in this competition. And if we do not win this tournament, if we are not holding up the Europa Conference League trophy in May, especially considering West Ham won it the first year it was an actual thing, it's a disgrace. It is actually a disgrace if we do not win this tournament. If we don't, I will be disgusted. I genuinely will be disgusted if we don't win this tournament. You have got other Europa League games going on tonight, and you've got, I know Man United are playing, they played, sorry. They won 2-1 against Victoria Pleasant. Came back from 1-0 down. Former Burnley player Matej Vidra, he scored in the 48th minute. Rasmus Højlund scored a brace to win them the game. Spurs are Spurs are currently losing 1-0 to Rangers. That's funny. Let's have a look at the Europa League table. Man United are in 8th in the league phase. Spurs are in 12th, sorry. Wow, so they're even lower than their Premier League position. And, well, actually, that's a good segue into my next topic, because speaking of the Premier League and Tottenham, we played Tottenham at the weekend. Beat them 4-3. Really should have been 4-2. Well, we could have beaten 4-0 if we'd done our job at the back, but this whole thing about Chelsea being in a title race needs to stop. It really, really does. We've got too many defensive issues, for one. Our backline, our goalkeeper's a freaking nightmare, to the point I'm actually going grey because of it. I'm not even 30 years old and I'm going grey. And that's just the stress of the goalkeeper and the backline. It's just that they're ridiculous. Between Badiashile and Robert Sanchez, they can't string a pass together. They're either putting it out of play or putting one or the other under pressure, giving suicide balls to each other. They're just crazy. They really are crazy. And then we've got no leadership at the back. Our best defender in terms of centre back, because Mark Cucurella has, despite his mistakes on Sunday, has been phenomenal lately. Our best defender is Trev Chalobah. He's on loan at Crystal Palace. We've got a goalkeeper on loan at Bournemouth in Kepa, who is not only a brilliant shot stopper, but he can play out with his feet. So he's better than Robert Sanchez. And yet we're persevering with these guys who are they're just not good enough. They're not nowhere near good enough. And you got everyone in the freaking media going, "Oh, Chelsea, you're in a title race. Are you in a title race?" They're hounding the manager constantly, 24/7 at press conferences. Title race this, title race that. He looks bored. Because he's answered the question like 15 times. No, we're not in a title race. No, we're not in a title race. And we're not. So all the media putting this unnecessary pressure on what is a very young squad is ridiculous, because what then happens is when it comes to March and we're in and around the top 4, but we're not in the title race, they can then run their headlines of, "Oh, Chelsea bottled the title race." But we didn't. We've never been in the title race this year. If you'd have said to me at the start of the season, "Oh yeah, we'll get top 4," I'd have bitten your arm off. Top 4 and definitely with the Conference League trophy and a decent cup run, I'd have bitten your arm off. We're not in a title race. This myth needs to end now. We're racking up points, yes. We've played 15 games. I'm looking at the table now, right? We've played 15. We're second on 31 points. 9 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses. Now, the draws, or the losses, should I say, have been Liverpool and Man City. Fair enough. The draws, Man United, who are 13th, Palace, who are 17th, granted Forest, who are 5th at the minute, and Arsenal. So we've dropped 4 points against teams we ain't even in the top half through stupid defensive errors. Every single goal pretty much this season that we've conceded has been defensive error. So at the very least, until January, when we can go into the transfer window and get a top goalkeeper and a top centre back, we ain't winning the title. It's as simple as that. We're not winning it. And next year, depending on what we do in the summer, but we should, given what we've spent since these new owners have come in, next year we should be on for a title race. But it depends on what we do in the summer. As I said, if we can get that top-notch goalkeeper and that top-notch centre-back, and at this stage, another right-back, because Reece James and Gusto are always injured, we can't keep shoehorning what's also a very bad defender, a very bad centre-back out there at right-back, which is Axel Disasti. Played all right today, but he's playing a Kazakhstanian team against the Premier League team. Against the Premier League team, Disasi becomes disaster class. He's who's out there that we can go and get? Defenders off the top of my head, we could go Bastoni, Marquinhos, try and pry him away from PSG. Goalkeepers, you can look at Mike Maignan. I'm pretty much, apart from Marquinhos, I've pretty much just looked at Serie A. But there are options out there. Top centre backs as well. And we need to get rid of this whole like, oh, they need to be like ridiculously young thing. No. Get a centre back who's 28, between 28 and 30, who's got top notch experience, knows what it's like, a winner. Fuck it. See if you can try and pry Ruben Diaz or a Kanji or someone like that away from Man City. Why not? Why not test the waters? See if you can nick Saliba off Arsenal. Let's think of other good Premier League centre backs, because Premier League experience as well would be nice to have. Just looking at the teams now. Wow. Actually, yeah. The main point is that there are defenders out there who I would love to have at the club. Bastoni's the big one because the guy is just an animal. And then fullbacks could do a double winter raid with DeMarco. You could try Kimmich, he can play right back. Um, there are options out there. The reason why I've suggested a right back, as I said, is because Reece James and Malo Gusto, they're always freaking injured. They're always injured. You can't rely on them. Every Chelsea fan that I've seen online, on Twitter, pundits have, when discussing Reece James, all thought that once he had his surgery, because he kept putting off his surgery with the injury, like the injury he had, he kept putting off surgery. And he'd be out for 4 weeks, come back for a game or two, tweak it, be out for another 4 weeks, 5 weeks, come back, tweak it again. And he had his surgery and he was out for months. And all of a sudden, everyone was like, right, when he comes back, this will be it. It'll be different. But it hasn't been different. He's been back and injured again. It's like I'll always love Reece James for everything he's achieved at the club, Champions League, the Club World Cup, Super Cup. But there comes a time where you just got to realise that his injury record is too bad now. And you got to cut your losses. And if a Real Madrid come knocking, hell, I'll try and get Livramento back from Newcastle. Why not? See if he wants to come back to Chelsea where he belongs. So he was our academy player. Or Lamptey from Brighton even. He was our academy player. And if they want to come back, great. But we'll have to wait and see. But it's just, yeah, until we address those issues, the title race question is, well, it's not even, it's a simple answer. Are we in a title race? No. The teams that are meant to be in this title race are Man City and Arsenal. Liverpool aren't, but they're top of the table. They're 4 points clear with a game in hand. And that's because Arne Slot is doing a fantastic job. They've only dropped points to, well, they lost to Forest, they drew to Newcastle, and it says here they got another drop. I can't remember where that was. Yeah, I can't remember who they drew to, but they're gonna, at this stage, as it stands, Liverpool winning the league. I genuinely believe that. The fact that Man City have only had one win in the last 10 games is just bonkers. Absolutely blows my mind. But they'll come back. They'll come back. There's no doubt about it. Their squad is too expensive, filled with world-class players for them not to come back. Yes, they lost Rodri. Huge injury. World-class player. Arguably the best player in the world right now. But they lost him. And they're going to have to deal with it. It's like, it'll be like if we lose Cole Palmer. If we'd have lost Cole Palmer last season, we'd have been relegated. And that's not even a joke. The amount of points his goals and assists got Chelsea last season, we'd be playing in the Championship with Leeds. And them lot. and the other one who was meant to be in this title race is Arsenal. But right now they can only score goals from corners, to the point where I saw it online the other day. They've put a mural of their set piece coach in and around the Emirates. Really? You do that shit for brilliant players and managers. A, a set piece coach? I get he's doing well, but he's doing his job brilliantly, to be fair. But when we were scoring set pieces for fun under Tuchel, we didn't give a mural to Anthony Barry. And all them years of Arsenal ripping apart teams like Stoke, because that's all they ever did was corner, header, goal, corner, header, goal. And now they're doing the exact same thing. It's very hypocritical, really. But that's down for them and their fans to be that way. I'm just sitting here enjoying the ride right now. In that we're second in the Premier League, we're top of the Conference League. Things are looking absolutely top notch for Chelsea at the minute. But that is where I'm actually gonna end this live stream. I think there's nothing really left to discuss in terms of Chelsea. There's nothing left to really discuss in terms of football. Probably do another one of these streams tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then maybe Saturday. And to give my thoughts on the Premier League games, and I will touch on the Leeds game as well, because my dad's a Leeds fan, and I'll probably end up watching it. With them second in the Championship, I think. Yeah, they're second because Sheffield United won yesterday. But whether it's a live or a recorded, I don't know. But I will definitely be back. To anyone who watches live or in the future, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, the normal jazz. Subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. And until the next one, I will see you all later. Goodbye.